Good morning. Good morning. Oh, my goodness. The rain is bringing out the conversations, which is wonderful. All those who are grateful for the rain, please raise your hands. Ooh, yes! How exciting. And we hope those of you who are at home have also raised your hands. Enjoy because of our wonderful rain. I have heard people say that they'd like it to continue to rain gently for the day. Welcome to all of you who are in the sanctuary, and welcome to those streaming the service of the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Grand Traverse. I am Marianne Rivers, a member of the Sunday Service Committee, and along with Reverend Alex and some very special guests, we will play together today to release that inner clown that we may have stuffed away some years back. Way back in the olden days, much to my father's chagrin, he was hoping that I would be valedictorian of my high school senior class. But instead, I was elected class clown. I know you'll have difficulty imagining that, because who would believe that of me, old serious me? I love that kazoo. But this is the truth. I was a riot. And I used to use my humor, some of you will understand this, to cover many a trembling moment of those years. And so this morning, we're asking you to relax and remember and renew the delight of finding humor and joy in every moment. We're very fortunate this morning to have Rick Walter being Techmeister. This should just add to the fun that we're going to have today. Thank you, Rick, for being so brave. To my right, there is a book in which to write your joys and concerns, and Reverend Alex will read that later on in the service. Those at home can go to the website to enter their joys and concerns. Now, do we have any brave visitors who have decided to stay maybe and not run for the door for this? And if you're comfortable, would you stand and introduce yourselves to us?
Sure. I'm John Van Camp.
Oops, we have a microphone.
Hi, I'm John Van Camp. I spent most of my adult life in Detroit. After I retired, I moved to Venice, Florida, where I'm an active member of the UU Church in Venice, Florida. But my better two-thirds and I, we bought a little place just on Lake Leelanau, and so we're going to be here for the summers. So I'll plan to be active here.
Well, welcome, welcome. We hope we see you during the summer, and maybe your other two-thirds. Anybody else? There's one back there. Would you like to stand? Are you comfortable?
Hi, I'm Susie Mattis-Savage. I moved to Traverse City 10 years ago. I come from Massachusetts, and I miss the seafood. People will ask, what do you miss about it? That's what I miss, and my family. And I am here as a visitor. I do attend St. Francis Catholic Church, but my daughter comes here with her family, and you probably all would learn to know me as Kinsey's Babci. That's grandmother in Polish. Kinsey's in the daycare right now.
Welcome. Anybody else? Any hands up? Well, thank you very much for standing and introducing yourselves. And after the service, please feel free to join us in the fellowship hall. And do take a yellow cup, because that way we'll know that you are a visitor and come up and slather you with attention. So also in the fellowship hall, we will be greeting and saying best to you both to Renee Russell, our dear Renee Russell, and Betsy Hammerberg, who unfortunately called and said she's not feeling well. She may make it for after, but we'll keep our fingers crossed. Both of these wonderful women will be leaving their former roles as music director and religious education director. So please join us in surrounding them with love and support on their new paths. And remember to silence your phones, please. Now, we will listen to this wonderful prelude, Rainbow Connection, with Julie Abbott's playing it.
Whoever you are and wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here this morning. I'm Reverend Alex. I use the pronouns he and him. I'm the minister here, and I hope you're ready to clown around a little bit in our time together. And as we settle into this time, I invite you to hear these brief words from the author and writer Anne Lamott. Laughter is carbonated holiness. You laugh and you feel your body get lighter, even risen perhaps. You laugh and you feel as if someone better, someone stronger has entered you, taken a hold of your arms, legs, and heart, and is helping you walk on this path called life just a little happier. Laughter is carbonated holiness. So come, let us imbibe of some of this carbonated holiness, and come, let us worship together this morning. As we light our chalice, the symbol of Unitarian Universalism, a light that we believe is never truly out or lost, I'll read these words as Mary Ann lights our chalice. For the gift of this day, For the gift of this day and for our community of spiritual nurture and compassion, we give thanks. We light this chalice as a symbol of our faith. May our many sparks meet and merge in communion of heart and soul. We also light a candle to honor Pulse Night of Remembrance, which will occur tomorrow night, honoring the same day in 2016 when a mass shooting occurred at the Pulse Gay nightclub in Orlando, Florida. And so as we light this other flame, may we remember and honor all victims lost to anti-LGBTQ+ hate and violence. And now, let us sound our singing bowl as I share these words from Mary Ann. Follow me, follow me, follow the deep, luscious sound I make. Follow me, follow me, follow till no more ring I make. Follow me, follow me, follow me to that peaceful place you seek. Let us now rise in body or in spirit and join in singing our opening hymn, number 345, With Joy We Claim the Growing Light. You'll find this in your gray hymnals, and also the lyrics will be available up here on the screen. Please be seated. It's your turn.
Good morning. Oh, this is great. So it's like school. Anyway, I'm going to share a little bit about myself so that you understand why I'm here today. And I believe there'll be some pictures to kind of show what I used to look like. But we've all changed over the years, so it's okay. Anyway, my name is Linda Lyle, and I was better known for 30 years by, and I still have friends who still call me that, but I was known as Daffy the Clown. If you've never seen me, I've actually existed here in Traverse City forever. But I want to tell you, I'm a married woman of 52 years to a husband that's been wonderful for me, and his name's Glenn. So some of you might know him, but you know, if you do, just mention you saw me here, because he didn't come. Anyway, I'm a mother of 3 beautiful humans, and I'm also a grandmother, and I'm into them, they'll help you through that too. But anyway, they range from 12 now to 20 years old, so life changes and goes fast. I retired as a teaching assistant for TDA ISD, which for working for special needs for 27 years. I'm an author of 2 children's books. Never thought that would happen, but you know, life changes. And as I said before, I'm retired after 30 years. Oh, there I am. So even if you retire and you've got a clown in you, it never leaves. It comes out at the strangest times, so forgive me, I don't mean to be silly, that's part of me. Anyway, so I first became a clown after going to a school carnival with a friend of mine. She happened to be asked to go, so she didn't want to go by herself, so she asked me to go with her, which I did. And I just loved the kids giggling and laughing and enjoying themselves, and I thought, wow, this is cool, I want more of this. Well, believe it or not, a little while later at UUCGT, the NMC had a clowning class. And I thought, what's the chances that that's going to be anything good? But I went, and somehow by the time I finished that, I was ready to get in the parade. So, which I have clowned over 23 Cherry Festival parades and many around Michigan. But once you start, it's really hard to stop. And let's see, I also took, after taking the class, I connected with several people that enjoyed being clowns, and I became a member of the Cherry Capital Clowns here in Traverse City. And if you know that, as far as when you become a member of a group, before you know it, you're the vice president, and then you're the president. I never did the treasury, that was not my thing, so. But anyway, I also started my own business, so I was a business owner of Clowning by Daffy, did that for years. And of course, that meant hundreds and hundreds of birthday parties, company events, and you know, like I said, if you haven't seen me as a clown, I don't know how that could have happened, because I've been around a long time. So also, I met some other clowns, as I said, which you'll get to meet my friend Barney, of course, a little bit later here. But we went to clown college together. So believe it or not, that was in La Crosse, Wisconsin, U of W they called it. And we attended for a week at a time. On 3 different occasions I went, so 3 different years. And these classes were 8 to 10 hours a day of nothing but clowning. We clowned to learn more about your character, makeup, costumes, personalities. Each clown needed to discover their own gift. You were not to be the same as anyone else. You had to find out where that clown was in you and learn to bring that out. We took classes on ballooning, juggling, magic, storytelling, creative gifts, and skits. Skits were kind of my thing. And let's see, I personally found the use of imagination. And I'm going to show a little demonstration just for fun, but I did a lot of invisible fireworks, especially during the 4th of July and the Cherry Festival. It was wonderful. Best prop you could ever have. Can you see it? Worked fine. Anyway, also, some of us found the gift of spiritual clowning, which I did that as well. And we had a group here in Traverse City, and we were called the Cheerful Witness. Believe it or not, we traveled all over Michigan to clown and perform in front of different congregations. And, but you know what? God loves the clown in all of us, so that's what it's all about. And I became an instructor as well at the NMC summer camp, teaching clowning around and frogging around. Don't ask me where that one came from, but I came up with it, so it worked. I feel blessed finding a gift that allowed me to connect with young and old alike, making the positive difference in the memories in the lives of others, if only for a moment. And now I'm going to do the invisible fireworks. But unfortunately, whoops, I better use a step. That's not good. I have a fake knee here. Okay, could I get you to help me? Would you mind? Really great. I'm going to do it right here. I'm going to try to talk loud so you can hear me. But like I said, the props are easy to see, so they're just right here, okay? If I can have you stand right here. Oh, good. Can I have you too? 2 of them. Wonderful. Okay, believe it or not, it is a little harder for me to do this not in costume, but we're still going to make it work. So just pretend I'm in that costume right there. It'll work perfect. Okay, I brought along invisible fireworks. This is my little container. Would you like one?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you could hold out your hand. I think I'm gonna just maybe turn you girls just a little bit. Could you come over here? Because we wanna make sure all these big people get to see this too, okay? So let me just, sorry, I got it in the wrong hand. Okay, put that right there. Don't drop it, okay? All right, and here's one for you. Okay, don't, wait, could you come please, ma'am? No, yeah, it's you. There's nobody behind you. So we'll just have one big kid here, okay? Okay, so just go ahead, put your hand up. Oh, good, okay.
I have to aim for off and drop it.
Oh, don't, because we can't find it. Just hold it and don't let it go anywhere, okay? All right. I don't know. Okay, so what I need you to do, can you see over your head? Sorry, this is kind of bigger than it used to be. Okay, okay, so you've got yours. Okay, now, big kids, this is a warning for you. You might want to cover your ears. I'm going to show them how this works, and they're, okay, really young. Okay, so you've all got yours? Okay, I got one too. Oh, no, I don't. Why am I kidding myself? Jeez, I can't believe I did that. Okay, so, ready? Now, I want you all to lift your hand, okay? Just one hand. Okay, now not the one with the fireworks, you're good. When I count to 3, you got yours covered? Okay. When I count to 3, I want you all to go ahead and hit your fireworks. Ready? 1, this is scary. 2, okay, ready? 3. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, oh, did you just drop yours? I'm sorry, just a second. Okay, here. All right, you can take this with you, and you know what? You can use them over and over again. It won't hurt a thing. So, did it hurt you?
I slapped a little too hard.
Oh, I think that was really cool. Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but I'm sorry. I hope you're okay. Go ahead, put them in your pocket if you want. Save it for later. They're a lot of fun. So, even though you don't know me, I imagine you probably could see how much I can just all of a sudden it comes out of me, because it's there. So where's that lady that blew the kazoo? Oh, right there. I know. I've got one I play by ear. There's an ear attached to it. So just so you know, that's me. That's it.
Many of you may have seen in last Thursday's flash that we have hired a new music director, Anne-Marie Van Patten. Anne-Marie, would you raise your hand? That's right, let's clap about it. So for a brief time in our service, I'd like to introduce Anne-Marie to you a little bit, and also lead us later in the service in a little bit of a covenanting ceremony. We have Renee Russell, our outgoing music director, with us as well. And we thought it would be nice, yes, claps for Renee too. We thought it would be nice if we did something to kind of ritualize this transition and honor Renee's time as we also honor Anne-Marie coming on. And so to tell you a little bit about who Anne-Marie is, music has been a part of Anne-Marie's life for as long as she can remember. Some of her earliest memories are of her mother practicing the organ and dad leading the choir in the church, where her family attended until she was about 10 years old. Music ministry was especially important to her parents, and she would play violin with them as she grew up and long into her professional music career. When her father passed away in 2016, she thought that she would never play music in church again, but soon after found herself volunteering to play with the choir in her new Unitarian Universalist community. The pull to explore spirituality through music was natural. Anne-Marie holds 2 degrees in music education, the first from Michigan State University, the second from Grand Valley State University, and she spent 13 years as a public school orchestra teacher. She's a certified Suzuki violin instructor and is the co-director of the Traverse Symphony Orchestra's Suzuki School. She is a violinist in the Traverse Symphony Orchestra and the Great Lakes Chamber Orchestra. So I don't need to tell you this, but she's got quite the musical resume. And you can read more about Anne-Marie in both the Flash and also on our website. I'd now like to welcome both Anne-Marie and Renee, if you're willing, to come forward for this time of transitioning and covenanting together. When a transition occurs in a community, we hold many different emotions and feelings. We hold sadness and grief for change, what no longer is or will no longer be. Our joy and delight in the precious moments and memories, our abundant appreciation and gratitude for those who have served us lovingly and faithfully, and excitement and anticipation for a new beginning, for what this new person and future holds for our community. Renee, will you share your words for Anne-Marie and for the congregation?
Excuse me. I'm going to try not to cry. As the congregation's last music director, my role and place in the community is changed and changing. While I am no longer a member of the staff, I hope to be in community and in supportive relationship with this congregation and with you, Anne-Marie, as you take my place. I'm excited to support you as I take a new place in this congregation and welcome your gifts to our ministry.
And Anne-Marie, will you share your words for Renee and for the congregation as well?
As this congregation's new music director, I am honored to receive the hope and trust you've placed in me. We have entered a new role and relationship, one which will be similar and yet different from how you've received other music directors in the congregation's past. With the transition of your role, Renee, I ask that you honor and maintain your new relationship with the congregation. May we endeavor to work together in this transition to nurture and enliven the music and ministry of this congregation.
And all of you who are gathered, this is where you come in, joining me in affirming this covenant with some simple words. First, thank you, Renee. Thank you, Renee. Welcome, Anne-Marie. Welcome, Anne-Marie. May we all support this transition. And these next steps we take together. All right, welcome, Anne-Marie, and thank you, Renee.
What a beautiful musical turnover. Those of us who are in the vocal ensemble are thrilled to welcome Anne-Marie, and of course, I'm hoping that she's shaking her head yes, that Renee might join us as a soprano, which would be quite exciting. Let's see. What did I say here? Oh, we are a congregation of abundance and joy. And to keep that moving forward, we need to give of our talents and our treasures. Please note, as the baskets are passed, that we have two sides, one for the congregation and one for those in need. So choose a side. Those of you who are streaming from home, there are three options. You can send a check, visit the UUCGT website, or download the Vanco mobile Faith Engagement app, which I think is quite an interesting name. Please then take a moment, this moment, to listen to a beautiful piece called Clowns. you, Julie. I like that a lot. This is the reading for today, and it has different renditions of it, but it's called A Clown's Prayer, and it's Charles Farley. As I stumble through this life, help me to create more laughter than tears, dispense more happiness than gloom, spread more cheer than despair. Never let me become so indifferent that I will fail to see the wonders in the eyes of a child or the twinkle in the eyes of the aged. Never let me forget my total effort is to cheer people, to make them happy and forget momentarily all the unpleasantness that might be in their lives. And in my final moment, may I hear you whisper, when you made my people smile, you made me smile.
We'll see if it sticks. The wildest ordination service that I ever attended involved people dressing up as clowns and fools. An ordination service is where somebody, of course, becomes a minister, and this ordination service happened to be for the first minister I ever really knew, the minister I had growing up in Fremont, California, and my current ministerial mentor, Reverend Jeremy Nickel, who you can see there dancing with the red feather boa and the hat on. When I went to his ordination, I wasn't quite sure what to expect, though I was immediately thrown off by all of the red noses and feather boas, the jester hats, and the noisemakers. And you can safely say that UU ordinations are sometimes pretty far out there. Part of the significance of this moment was not just celebrating Jeremy as our church's minister. The ordination itself was held by a group called the Faithful Fools. The Faithful Fools are a street ministry in San Francisco that started in part by a UU minister named the Reverend Kay Jorgensen. And their mission is to shatter myths about people living in poverty and to discover common humanity on the streets of San Francisco's Tenderloin neighborhood. The core idea is that sometimes we need to be fools, to go out against our judgments and what society tells us about our neighbors living in poverty in order to encounter one another on a deeper level. Kay, one of the founders of Faithful Fools, was also a clown named Oscar, who was her character on the streets. And at Jeremy's ordination, you bet Oscar was on full display. To me, Jeremy's ordination seemed to hint at how ministry itself is sometimes a faithful encounter with foolishness. How sometimes we ministers are called to move toward pain, anguish, and human tragedy rather than to run away from it. Kind of odd, isn't it? Sometimes ministers need to take on a persona of foolishness, but not in a way that is stupid or idiotic. Rather, foolishness as a spirit of openness. I think foolishness is necessary to ministry, especially in remaining open to the people you serve and to the people that you encounter in your wider circles. Sometimes you're called to play the fool, to suspend your judgments and your preconceived notions for a little while in order to fully see the person that is right there in front of you. It's easier said than done, let me tell you that. Jeremy's ordination has always stuck with me in this way because of how I saw an almost foolish love modeled in ministry. But even beyond ministers and ministry, I think there's a message for all of us in acting the part of the faithful fool. Being willing to be foolish, even reckless with love, in a way that brings us into new encounters with people who we otherwise wouldn't meet. Oftentimes, when I'm out and about or driving by someone carrying a sign saying that they are without a home or without food, I need to stop myself in making snapshot judgments about who that person is or what their story has been. I notice I sometimes need to calm the fear, the nervousness of encountering this person, and instead give myself the permission to be foolish, to remind myself that the inherent worth and dignity of every person also applies here. I wonder how many of you have ever had to stop yourself to look at some of your own preconceived notions or snapshot judgments of other people. In an earlier sermon, I told you about how I was lucky to participate in a street retreat in San Francisco, where we teens were encouraged to walk the streets and to meet people and hear their stories. Surprise, this was also a collaboration with the Faithful Fools of San Francisco, who held this for our UU Coming of Age cohort when I was a teenager. And I want to tell you a brief story from Kay Jorgensen herself, known as the Penny Story, about the start of the Faithful Fools. As it always begins, it was a sunny day in Berkeley. Kay was walking down a street to get some lunch when she felt something hit her upper arm. She stopped and turned and saw a man at the bottom of some stairs and essentially pointing to her feet and saying, "They're down there." Sure enough, when she looked down beneath her feet, she saw 2 pennies at her feet there, and picked them up and said to herself, "Okay, that's a bit strange, but all right." When she finally got to the corner store in order to buy her lunch, Kay picked up a sandwich and went to the fridge section to get something to drink. And as she scanned the shelves, a different man came up to her and asked, "You wouldn't happen to have 2 pennies, would you?" He motioned to this drink that he was carrying in his hand, saying, "If I only just had 2 more cents, I could get this drink." In a flash, Kay remembered the 2 pennies in her pocket and pulled those out and handed them to the man, who then bought his drink and left. While she was paying for her own sandwich and drink, her favorite song, "Morning Has Broken" by Cat Stevens, played on the overhead speaker, and she totally took this as a sign. She didn't fully realize what had happened, but realized years later that this experience taught her a core part of being a fool, of the need to trust that we have what is needed before it is even asked of us. I'll repeat that again. The core need to trust that we have what is needed before it is even asked of us. So Kay's story, the penny story, is a parable for each of us on trusting that we have the gifts we need in order to meet other people right where they are. It's an idea that we have the permission to put ourselves out there in meeting complete strangers, even if we normally wouldn't. A clown and a fool herself, Kay believed that there's something sacred about the posture of foolishness, that playing the fool allows us to be enough in times when we might not feel like we have all the answers, when we otherwise might be scared about what could go wrong. So my one big takeaway for you is to play the part of the fool. Even if you don't don the red nose or hang a feather boa around your neck, see if you can take yourself a little less seriously. If you might even suspend your judgments for a little while in order to see what or who is right in front of you. Faithfulness and foolishness might have more in common than we often realize. But also, pay attention for where you see and find those little pennies. You never know when they might come in handy. May it be so, and amen. For this part, I will take off my red nose, just because we are entering a time of a little more seriousness. It is our practice, of course, each week to spend some time together holding the joys and concerns of our community, those milestones and moments of our lives that we know just must be celebrated with others when we are gathered. I'll be sharing a few of those that have been offered up for us to hold, but you are always welcome at any point in our service to light a candle off to my right here, to reach out to the congregational care team or myself if your joy or concern is a bit too tender, or to simply hold it on your heart as you are held in the love of this community. None of us is ever meant to travel life's journey alone. And so if you would join me in holding these joys and concerns in love this morning. We have a big joy, a big thank you to all who helped with spring cleanup yesterday. We had lots of fun. Last Monday, this is a concern, last Monday my brother Tom died after a long bout with Alzheimer's. We will miss him. From Philip and Joanne Best. A joy. From the facilities team, the music room closet is now finally complete. No more mold, yay. Thanks to the hard work of Charlie Bellinger, Doug Roberts, and Carl Kyneth, musicians, you can now move all your stuff back in there. Another big joy. Mark and Veronica Dragovich were united in marriage 1 week ago. It was a day full of love, laughter, and happy tears. A special thank you to Rev Alex for making the ceremony so meaningful and being a part of that day. Mark and Veronica, we celebrate with you. And from Andy, a big joy. She's here. Eloise Maureen Kramer, my first grandchild. And now, let us hold a brief silence for all the joys and concerns that remain on our hearts. Amen. And if you would please join in singing our song of response, Spirit of Life.
Hello. First slide, please. Oh, no, that's not, that's the last one. The first one.
That's the order they're in, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Just go to the next slide. Yeah.
Oh, there, okay. My favorite guy, absolutely. Clowning is a study of the psychology of the human spirit, right? And this guy, he's got his arm on a rope there. He's showing that he tries and he tries and he tries and it doesn't work and he tries and he doesn't work, doesn't try. And many of us have that same pattern going. We try and try and try and we never know when to give up. So anyway, so the study of the human psyche. We have people who really understand this human psyche. We have psychiatrists, psychologists, social workers, counselors, and bartenders. Now, I couldn't find a bartender to give me some basic information here on the psychology, so I had to settle for a psychiatrist. Emmy Lou, okay? Being a clown allows you to act outside of yourself. You can do and say things that maybe you are too shy or afraid to say as your true self. It is a fun and healthy escape that we all need sometimes. We all clowned as kids. It's a natural. It can give you confidence. Why not continue it? And that way you can act and enjoy in fun, making others happy too. Like the old song we used to sing. Laughing on the outside, crying on the inside. So that's the psychiatrist view, okay? So then when I was a small kid, age 5, 6, 7, I was 38, 39, 40, 19, 38, 40. My mother loved circuses, so she would load us in the city bus. We go down to the Detroit fairgrounds, to the Coliseum, and these were professional performances, of course. But as a little kid, you saw things a little differently. This is Emmett Kelly, and many of you know him, but he always takes a method of doing things that just kind of don't work, you know. Part of the human psyche. So a kid gave him a peanut, and he just happened to have this sledgehammer handy to crack the peanut. And of course, it went kaboom, right? The next one. And the next guy, anyway, there are three of them I like. This Otto Griebling, he usually did things that also never worked out. He would go through the audience, this is usually before this thing started, with maybe a plant. And he was looking for Mrs. Kelly, Mrs. Kelly, Mrs. Kelly. He couldn't find Mrs. Kelly. Later in the show, he'd come down the stairs again, and the plant had grown a little. Okay, Mrs. Kelly, Mrs. Kelly. He'd come down again, and it's up here. And then he'd come down the last time, and he's struggling. So he does things like that. And you see him, what do you call it? Knitting. There we go. Thank you, ma'am. She helps me all the time. He would knit a scarf, and you see him, it's on the front of one of the books there, see him knitting a scarf as at the first of the show, his part of the show, and the scarf would maybe be this long. Of course, he'd come back later, and the scarf was longer. He'd come back later, the scarf was longer, and he'd come back later, and it's way the heck back there, he'd dragging it. So that's human behavior where you just don't give up on some things, and it's crazy. But we see ourselves reflected in this kind of behavior. So what's the next one? Oh, and Lou Jacobs. Now some of you have seen him, but he's quite tall, and he had this little car. And he'd get in his little car and just go butts it around and making all kinds of noise, so forth. Well, he gets arrested by a cop that's more in proportion to the car. So he also had, I think there's another one there. He also has a little dog, and he'd do skits with the dog, and the dog would show him up. One was hunting, which World Clown Association, well, anyway, circus museum, anyway, in Baraboo, had him with his dog, and he's hunting, and he shoots the dog, and poof, the dog drops. He puts him in back here in the old-fashioned coat, and continues on. Of course, the dog jumps out, and as he's going down here hunting again, the dog is right behind him, making steps exactly as his. It is so cute, absolutely cute, just wonderful. Okay, next one. Yeah. And then World Clown Association, which Daffy mentioned. Usually it's 3 weeks. These three are from different years, okay? So you take this and look at how many there are there, and you got to multiply it by 2 or 3. So the next slide, here's another year, and then the next slide. One more slide. Did you do it? There it is. Okay, and that's the largest one that I've seen. So, and these people get into the clowning, and imagine they're from all over the United States, and they go back to their hometowns, and they take clowning with them throughout the country, Canada, and some from Europe, and some from the Far East. So anyway, Clown Camp was something fantastic. I thought it was discontinued, but Daffy says no, it's still in operation. Okay, next whatever we got. So this just a few shots of what I learned and did in Traverse City. And I had 3 things, of course. I had the hand puppets. This is a skunk. And you know, but I found that, and I have a little string that makes the skunk's tail come up. And not many people really understand what's going to happen when the clown's tail comes up. But anyway, so I kept doing it anyway. And I guess that's the clown. That's the skunk too, isn't it? Okay, next. Oh, and then bubbles. So I had puppets, bubbles, and then the hammer, which I do not have pictures of. And in bubbles, you make a presentation, and you get. Excuse me here. When you make a bubble, you watch the people who are looking at it, and all of their defenses are gone, and they're just experiencing that. And you get to see their face. Their face shows joy or whatever, wonderment, and so forth. So it's almost a pleasure for the clown to do bubbles to watch people. And kids always want to break them. And parents will grab the kid and hold them back to let the big bubble go in front of them, so it won't break the bubble. So, okay, two of the bubbles business. Next. And there's the bee. Now the bee, I started out with that. So I got a little stinger going up in your hand, right? And you go up to a kid, you say, you ever pet a bee? No. Pet this bee? Okay. You know how he says hello? No. Zzz. You give him that, okay? And you wonder, how is this going off with the general public and so forth? Well, I did two little girls, zapping them, because I didn't know what I was doing at the time. They said, come sting our mother. So they went and got their mother. And they each got an arm, and they pulled the mother over, and of course, she's got to come. So we kind of both had kind of a funny feeling there. I zapped her on the arm. But I got to see a very extremely healthy and loving relationship between these two little girls and their mother. Please sting her mother. Get you, right? Okay, next, whatever. And there's Daffy, right there. The five of us were at Clown Camp at the same time, right? And so that's a picture of that. So we all got lots of information from Clown Camp. Okay, next. And these are called alleys. Groups that you meet with are collected with where you go through all kinds of whatever you want to do, skits or whatever. The next one then. And I was only on stage one time, because I hate to be on stage. Encore Winds was having a concert coordinated with Cherry Catholic Clown. Do you remember it? Yeah. So so I wore a tux for the first half because I was playing encore. At the 20-minute break, they said, we need another skit. We need another skit. Okay, so in 20 minutes I had to get this outfit on. And then two chairs and a rope between the chairs. And of course I get up, this is clown, everything exaggerated. And I had to get down again, hold the kid. And then what you do is you step on a rope and it called wham, goes down, and then you walk on the rope. So that went over quite well. Then the last thing I have here is that Trevor's Northern Michigan Magazine here had a series on Meet Your Neighbor. So this is Meet Your Neighbor right over here. And so the photographer did a little bit of a write-up on this. And anyway, it says, when you first meet me, of course, he'd probably be wearing his usual uniform, a button-down Oxford, and so forth, so forth, so forth. If you're lucky, he might lean close and reveal his true self. I'm a clown, he'd say. And then shrug. A fellow's got to be what he is. And so, former rehab counselor, the handicapped, called of his inner clown when he saw his first circus at age 6. But it wasn't until '89 that he stepped into his own oversized pants, took a class on basic clowning, and joined the Cherry Capital Clowns. The group now has 12 strong. Well, anyway, he ends it up here with life, like any handicapped, hardworking man in giant shoes, Hancy is serious about clowning around. He attended 5 clown camps, has visited World Clown Association Convention in Southport, England, in Toronto, and in Nevada. Then in my development, maybe I'm taking too much time, I'm supposed to have 7 minutes. Are there rubber minutes? Okay. I tried a unicycle and about killed myself. Truly. I tried juggling, and that didn't do much. I tried the slack rope. You know what the slack rope is? Instead of the tight rope, you got a slack rope, and you got to step on it, and you're going back and forth this way, so forth. And there are some clowns that specialize in that. I couldn't even get up on the rope. So that's terrible. So anyway, so the major thing is helping people do one thing, experience the joy of living. That's what it says in here, okay? Living. Pointed to one favorite photo, a huge bubble, which Barney has sent undulating down the Cherry Festival Parade route, hangs just above a little girl's head. She stands in awe, arms reaching up, with a gaping grin and eyes wide as saucers. Now, I have a billboard in the social hall there, and in the upper left is this little girl, and just radiating out of her face is joy. And if you want to have some of these very tender experiences, you do something like Bubbles, where the person is not really looking at you and responding as they do to lots of other people with some kind of hesitation, but is just totally joyful. Do clowns, or do Bubbles. So anyway, that's mine. Thank you very much.
Please join for a brief moment of stillness. And now, if you would, please rise in body or in spirit once more for our closing hymn, number 1008, in your teal hymnals, When Our Heart Is in a Holy Place. The lyrics are also going to be available up here on the screen.
closing words really are Ralph Waldo Emerson's words. Give all to love. Give all to love. Obey thy heart. Friends, kindred, days, estate, good fame, plans, credit, and the muse, nothing refuse. 'Tis a brave master, let it have scope, follow it utterly. Hope beyond hope. It was never for the mean, it requireth courage stout. Souls above doubt, valor unbending, it will reward. They will return more than they were, and ever ascending. So I extinguish our chalice with love and hope and a final call. Laugh. And laugh. And laugh. Even though it's gray out. Have a laugh.
And so, in the spirit of covenant community and commitment, and in the spirit of foolishness and clowning around, may we be made ready to serve one another and to create the world that we so desperately dream of. Go in peace all, may it be so, and amen. I have a couple of quick announcements. Barney didn't mention this, but both Barney and Linda have this wonderful table of all sorts of fun out there in the social hall for you to see. They have some red noses if you'd like to take with you to remind you of our message today, to be a bit of a clown. We also have some balloons and other things for you to check out there, so they'll be there to show you some of their things. And then, of course, we're celebrating Renee and Betsy and their time with us as staff members. So please go join and give them your goodbyes and let them know just how much you've appreciated them. Anyway, go in peace all and grow in love. Thank you.